Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Steve and Mike Show. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me, as always, is my homie G, my top dog, Stevie Nicks. How are you, homie?
I'm doing great, Mike Larkin. I'm actually doing very well. Things are good for me. I'm feeling good, and I'm happy to be with you again. We're doing these more consistently now, which is great. I love rapping with my homie. You know what I'm saying, dog. So this is really good.
Oh, same here. I mean, for me, things are going all right on my end. Top dogs, top dogs. But yeah, no, things are going all right on my end. I'm doing good. It's another day. You know what I'm saying? I look at it from a stance too as well. We're here. We're doing this consistent, as he said, but also not only that, we have had a couple Stevie Nicks experiences come back with you and Cousin D, which have been killing it. Please go back and check them out on my YouTube and the SoundCloud, the Spotify, the Stitcher, wherever you get your audio platform needs and goodness. You and Dylan have been coming back strong too.
Yeah, and I'm not making any promises here or anything, but he does want to do more. We might even like try to make it a regular thing between me and Dylan. So yeah, it's definitely something to look out for. I can't make any promises, but yeah, and things have been picking up, so it's good. It's good times. We're heading into some good times here,
Oh,
so I'm very excited.
well, same. And I also would like to just say, first and foremost, the fact that we're back together, and it has been a while. I know you've been doing your thing over there in Montreal. You just went to the Islanders game. I got to ask you, you did your thing
Did
for Montreal, the province of Quebec. How was that?
It was great, Mike Larkin. I mean, Montreal is a wonderful city. It's it's a I mean, it's a beautiful place. I describe it as a European city with a North American flavor, if that makes any sense. Um, and the people there were very friendly, and they have great food. Um, not an incredible amount of nightlife and party life. Montreal is not the party town that like Nashville was. You know what I'm saying? Like Nashville, you know my stories from Nashville, Mike Larkin, right? I mean, we got crunk. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? There are parts of Nashville. There are parts from Nashville that I don't remember. That
Understood.
which and if you don't remember part of it, it means you had a good time. So,
Oh, yeah.
um,
Music City,
but
baby.
Montreal was still it's different, but it was still nice though. It was still it was still nice. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
And for me, I know you like to get crunk, and I know you enjoy the nightlife. And I mean, I think that's what it's about at the end of the day, just having fun and getting together and, pouring them down as you only can. I've seen you do your thing, man.
Yeah, well, I do like a good party, so you know what I mean. Like why don't want the TV and the radio on at the same time?
Because I like to party.
that's that's me, Mike Larkin. So I do like a good party, and and but it was still a good trip though. Montreal is a wonderful city, and we went to the Islander game as you said, and it was they lost, but it was still nice. It was still a great place to watch a game. We had a lot of fun, and can't wait to do it again. So a nice little 3-day weekend, Mike Clark. And how about what's been new? What's new in your what's new? What's going on in your neck of the woods, Mike Clark?
What's happening in your neck of the woods? I get undercover brother. Usually I get Al Roker. Here's what's happening in your neck. The same guy who was in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. You know what I'm saying? With the whole thing with the
Evan
universe.
Michael Richardson.
Yes,
Evan Michael Richardson is his name.
like the universe tends to unfold as it should. What is that? Some fortune cookie?
Yes.
But no, I've been okay, man. I mean, LFC's been
Oh man.
doing its thing in Vegas, man. So we've been on fire with that, and just the overall grind. And for those who have not checked it out, check out LFC 37 Back to the Mansion. Your boy was on the poster, and check it out. Going into Las Vegas, man. LFCfights.com. Like I said, man, it's just a great night of action with a bunch of beautiful ladies doing their thing. A little bit of MMA, a little bit of wrestling, and a little bit of clothing. Just been on the grind, and I mean, I look at it from a stance too as well. Here we are, like you talk about, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing on the podcast front. The grind never stops, and I always tell this: it's always about being the best representation of your presentation. So, I mean, that's what it's about at the end of the day, my dude.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Mike Larkin. I mean, I'm happy for you. You know, you're killing it. You're doing your thing. You're always working hard. That's one thing about you. I always liked and admired is you're a hard worker. You know what you got to do. You get it done, and you take care of that business. You know what I'm saying, dog? And make that money. I'm talking. You know what I'm saying, boom, 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 like that. You know?
Absolutely. But no, well, for you as well, too, man. You've been on the grind with your cool Spectrum and just doing your thing on the music front, man. You had a hell of a night the other night.
I did. I had a hell of a week. Had a hell of a week, Mike Larkin. Two great shows. Um, yeah, I mean, it was just great. It was just a great couple of days last week. Saw some really the first show was really the better show for me, even though the rock the other Thursday show was bigger for us as far as exposure goes. But as you know, Mike Larkin, on the Sunday, got to see some very special people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and that was a really really awesome thing that I got to do. So that really was a bigger deal for me than the Rock City Dog Show. So
Right. Well, I mean, you got to see a couple of our favorite teachers and Miss Behan, Mrs. Sachs, and all the great people that we had from high school, a lot of great talent. So, I mean, dude, you got to see a lot of your favorite teachers from high school. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about our high school days and where we met and the whatnot, but there's nothing like having that teacher that influences you and really gets to support you at one of your shows, man. I think that's wonderful for you.
I mean, it's a special thing I got, Mike Larkin, and I'm very very thankful for everything that those women did for me, and can't say enough. Can't say enough about how overwhelmed I was and how warm my heart was, and it was just a really really amazing thing. I'm really really lucky. I just got to say that I'm really really lucky to have had the experiences that I've had, and to have connected with the people that I've connected with, and now these relationships have now stood the test of time, have gone beyond classrooms and schools and things like that. And it's an amazing thing, and I'm very thankful.
Oh, so first of all, that's beautiful, homie. And number two, I will say this: we crap about the school a lot. We'll talk about our stuff and we'll make fun of it. I think also at the end of the day, we did have some great people, and I mentioned you, and we did have some teachers on my end. I will say I'm still contacted with on a couple occasions, but I think just that overall connection also brings you back in a time where things were simpler and how you grow, you adapt, you evolve, and go through high school and then to college, what have you. There's different avenues and lanes in your life that you really go back into, and I think it's always nice to take that trip, but also connections and reconnections, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I'm not gonna lie. Not everybody got to have the experience in high school that I had. I know you. We've talked about this on many occasions, and I'm very thankful for you
Yep.
because I met you there, and that's you're my boy, Blue. I just want you to know that. But also those women too. That was a really really special thing that I was able to connect with those people and make a relationship that is now. And I'll tell you something. I haven't seen some of those people in almost 14 years, and it was like no time had passed. I mean, it's that kind of a relationship where, like, you go over a decade without seeing someone, and it's like you saw them yesterday, which is just it's crazy. But that, I mean, that's I think is the sign of a real, lasting, meaningful relationship, and I'm so thankful for that. Again, just
I look at it from a stance too as well. What's cool about it too is, I mean, you may have had a different, like I always say with me, like a couple years ago, I was not in the right headspace. But I think what's great about that is too, not just learning from your mistakes and adapting, like we mentioned there, but I think it's to reconnect with those people, who may have gone away and stepped away and let you do your thing to help yourself or better yourself. And as it stands too as well, not seeing them, what have you, for whatever reason. I think it's very important just the fact that them seeing you and seeing how much you shined and how you really come up to here. I think we all can really attest to that and just see a lot of people, like you mentioned, time has not gone by. It feels like time has not gone by, and you just reconnect. And I think that's very important for the spirit and overall mind, body, and soul. But also at the same time, you've grown as much as I've known you since 2008. For God's sake, you've grown into yourself, and you realized a lot of things, as have I. That's a beautiful thing about getting older and being in our 30s, man. That's a beautiful thing. We either don't give a fuck or we learn. We keep learning on and on to the break of dawn, man.
I thought it was 2007. Wasn't I in 10th grade when we met?
I'm saying when we really became friends was 2008 with the role models, man.
Oh, That's what you counted at. I counted as the first time we met.
First time we met. Okay, all right. No, first time we met. No, that was 2008. So 2007. I was in ninth grade. I was a freshman at the time, and you were 10th grade. Was it 2007? I think it might have been 2007. You're right. No, you're right. You're correct. Yeah, but 2008 was the first time we ever hung out. That was role models. So we known each other about.
Wasn't I in 11th grade? Maybe it's 15 years, Michael. Isn't it 15 years? It's because it was 10th grade. 06, 07 was 10th grade.
Yes, no, you're right. It was been 15. So 08, I was in yeah, wait a minute, that's gonna bug me. Yeah, no, it's been 08 since 2008. Now we're in 2023. Yeah, 15 years.
No, I think it was even earlier than 08. Like I think it was might have actually been 06.
Was it 06? Well, no, 06 was the peer tutoring, man, where you used to make when you made fun of me with my spiky hair.
No. That was
05.
I was in 8th grade.
Yes, that was 05.
So that was 05, 09, 08, 09, 07, 08, 6. I have to do math now, my Clark. You son of a bitch. You making me do a math. You see what you're doing? You're making me do math on the podcast.
So for 05, I was
really
05, I was.
Wait, no, hold on. I'll figure it out. Hold on. Wait.
All right.
09, 6, 07, 506 was freshman year. So that was 405 was peer tutoring. And then 06, 07 was the year that we met. I think it was 06 that we met.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, no, we were like, we really became like fast friends more in like high school, but we met each other like, yeah, we were more high school, like resource room. That was the class, like we mentioned with Feehan. But yeah, no, that was, I think what's great about it too is, and I mean, we've talked about this when we met, like we just instantly clicked with Malibu's Most Wanted. And that's why I hold that movie dear to my heart 20 years later, because that movie still kicks ass, number one. But number two, that's what kind of brought this together. So yeah, Malibu's Most Wanted, man. Oh, you like that movie too? Yeah, man. V-Rad, G, and the Heezy, Fosheezy.
It was that. It was also like you were like the only other kid that like got all of my musical references and got like knew as much music stuff as I did too. Like that would really got my attention. Really. I was like, wait a minute, wait, you know that too? Wait a minute,
wait a minute,
we just become best friends.
Yep. Well, no, that's the thing too. And I've always said this about you and I and just friendships in general. And there's a lot of people that have said this about you and I. Now, as they say, opposites attract, and we have a lot of similarities. But here's the thing, too: you are more boisterous, and you're very loud, and you put your chest out. You know what I'm saying? You hear me roar. I'm Steve Nickelfor, and I rule. Your chest is always out. But me, I'm very quiet, and I like to do my whole thing. And I'm a little bit more tame than you are. But we came together, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's how you describe it. You're tame. You're tame compared to me. That's how you're gonna describe it. I was like, okay. That's one way to describe it. Okay. That's not how I would describe it, but okay, you can say that. Okay.
No, you're just. Well, here's the thing. Well, you are, like I said, we've talked about this. You've gotten me out of my shell, but also at the same time, it's like sometimes there's like no, and I've noticed this over the years. There's no light switch with you. You're just constantly, I don't. That light switch never goes off. You're just you, and you're doing you, and that's what I've always loved and respected about you. You know what I'm saying? And I think also at the same time, like with both of our similar interests and some of our differences, I think we've always connected over the fact that just the bond is always there. And I think we always need to have that cohesive bond. I feel like I'm taking it back to science class. We have that cohesive bond that is never going to break. So I also look at that from that stance too. So yeah, man, friendship.
Who are you trying to impress, Mike Clark? Who are you trying to impress today, Mike Clark?
I don't know, man. Well, you got me in my feelings talking about this, man. And I mean, today is my boy Tommy Bell's birthday. Shout out to Tommy Bell, did the great drawing for the LFC podcast. I've actually been talking to him about doing a drawing for our show. Man, I gotta tell you something, man. Just finding that bromance that him and I have, like you and I have, I think it's wonderful, man. We're just meeting a lot of people and growing a lot of people. Then you get jealous also if I talk to other people. I think it's also kind of funny. Our relationships like Corey and Sean, like if I go over here and talk to people, then you get a little, you know what I'm saying? You get a little upset. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just supposed to be you and me, you and I, me and your daughter. Got a special thing going on.
First of all, bromance, Mike Larkin. Bromance, do we go on like mandates too, Mike Larkin? Is that
there's a lot of bromances, man.
Bromance and we go on mandates?
There's a lot of deep talkage, man. There's a lot.
Second of all, do you really think that you and him are the same thing as this, Mike Larkin? Do you think that
you do that?
That's the same.
I was waiting for that.
Do you think anything?
Waiting for that.
Mike Larkin, This is not this nothing compares to this, Mike Larkin. There's only one me, Mike Larkin. Okay, dog. No one else has this. Okay, no one else has this, Mike Larkin. All right, don't even start that shit. I hate Mike Larkin because I will throw down, Mike Larkin. I will throw down
Hey,
in
homie.
the in the in the in the in the circle of verbiage and linguistics. I will throw down and I will tear you apart to the point where I like Mike Tyson says, I will bleep you till you love me, Mike Lucky.
You're going to construct something out of a breathing apparatus, and that argument didn't go as much as we want to. No, that argument didn't go as clear as you want to. No, take a freaking do a desk pop in the office. Why don't you over there? Like it's the other guys, like a desk pop.
I'm on Zoloft to keep from killing y'all.
But no, well, you do that, man. If I talk about other people, it's like, no, you're like friggin' Sinead O'Connor and Prince over here. Nothing compares to you. You turn yourself into, you can't handle all of this. You did that in high school too. They can't handle all of this, Mike Larkin. All of this, Mike Larkin. All of this. That's you. It's all you.
Can you handle
Handle
this?
this.
Can you handle this?
I
don't think you can
handle this.
Woo!
And what's funny too is like we were talking about songs that don't age, man. Look at Bootylicious right there, 2001, and now that's almost freaking 22 years ago now, but that song still kicks ass. Stevie Nicks on the track, sampling Edge of 17. Reminds me of School of Rock when freaking Joan Cusack is dancing to that and getting drunk in the restaurant with Jack Black when they were singing that. Now, were you a School of Rock fan or not really? Jack Black?
Really. I'm not really a Jack Black fan.
Well,
I'm not really. I never got into the only. I told you. The only thing that I liked him in, Mike Larkin, was Orange County,
which was a great movie. Yes,
was a great movie.
I
liked him in that, but other than that, not really. Or maybe you know what? Maybe Tropic Thunder too. Maybe he was okay in Tropic Thunder, but those are like two like minor roles though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like anything that he's like starred in, I'm not really crazy about.
Well, he was in one of our jams. I want to be on Steven's team. Steven, can I play on your team, Steven?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He was in the Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
Yep.
That's a very underrated. That's a very underrated movie.
It's a very underrated.
Does not get the credit.
No,
I don't think people understand it. I'm sorry, my I don't think people understand that movie as like. I think it's a very misunderstood. That's why it doesn't get the credit or the fanfare that it deserves. Because a lot of people don't really get the movie, you know. But like we get it, me and you get it, and that's why we like it so much. Like
his life is pretty much based on the TV and TV shows. Like he doesn't really have that same thing. His parents never really like paid too much attention to him, so he's always like glued to the TV, and that's his life. It's pretty much just the TV.
Well, it's a deeper thing, and it's an issue that's become more and more prevalent in society today, where you're raised by electronics or like the screen. Or like the iPads or the iPhones or the TV or whatever the hell it is, and then you got a bunch of kids today, especially in Gen Z, that grow up with very lacking in social skills and don't have a lot of friends because they spent their whole lives, you know, growing up with their head in front of a screen and being isolated, and that's kind of what the Cable Guy was getting at back then, and that was talking about like latchkey kids, but now it's like even worse, you know, like now it's like everyone like our generation was the first generation to grow up with the internet, but now like everyone's grown up with iPads and everyone's grown up with iPhones and smartphones, and now it's like it's crazy. And but that is really what the Cable Guy is getting at, and it's a dark comedy. It's meant to be a dark comedy, but a lot of people, for whatever reason, they just don't get it. And whatever, that's fine. You know, not everybody has to get everything.
Right. Well, that's the thing I've always heard about that movie. Everybody would always poo-poo on that Jim Carrey movie, but I'm like, no. I mean, if you want to see a bad Jim Carrey movie, look, check out The Number 23. The Number 23 was absolutely the shits. It was terrible. You remember that movie?
Like, Jim, you're not a dramatic actor.
Thank you. That's my point.
You're not a dramatic actor. You're a comedian and a comedic actor. Stick to what got you here. Stick to what you're good at. Stop trying to be serious. You can't be serious. Like, it doesn't work.
It didn't. And that was the thing. Like a year prior to this was '06. Like he did Fun with Dick and Jane comedy. You know what I'm saying? And then the year later, '07, he does friggin'
I
that
saw that
bullshit.
in the theater.
You did? Ah,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. But that's the thing too. It's like he went from that, and I mean, you mentioned TV and all that. Like IFC, I've been going around. You know, they've been playing a lot with Jim Carrey. They've been playing the Truman Show a lot.
I like that movie. That's not a bad movie, Mike Clark. And I gotta say that's not a bad Jimmy. In fact, that's actually one of Dylan's favorite movies. Actually, shout out to Dylan because that's one of Dylan's favorite movies, Mike Clark, The Truman Show. Like he loves that movie. It is a great movie. And again, a movie that's probably more relevant today than ever with every reality, not just reality television. People say it was reality television at the time, but also like what is reality? Like with the way the technology is today, and the way that our world is constantly being changed and shaped with AI and all these different things. Like you really have to question like what really is like what is the world am I living in? What is reality? And I think that the Truman Show kind of goes along those lines. And again, a lot of those movies are relevant today, probably more than they even were then. Like there's a lot of those movies that are like that now.
Right. And for me too, I mean, with everything that's going on in the world, and I mean, we talk about the technology days. I want to say this right now. I think also like we have our stuff, which we've done, like we will go out to the park and what have you, not a lot of outdoor, like you talk about that overall social skills and everything that doesn't adapt. Everybody's indoors. But for you also think video games kind of did that for them as well. Like we talk about phones and technology. You also got to contribute kind of video games to that too, right?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, video games have been around for a while
Right.
too, but they use like video games are actually more social now, especially nowadays than because you have online playing and you do like they are people, especially the kids today, they are social on social media and they're social through texting and things like that. They are. It's not that they're completely isolated, but it's the real world face to face stuff that they're isolated from. And that's kind of really the thing. And TV and some of this other stuff doesn't provide that, but um, kids just they don't have it's the face to face stuff that they lack, and that's kind of been a growing problem as time has gone on over the years. That more and more kids that have been raised by electronics and screens um, become it becomes very hard for them in the real world because they become so isolated and they don't know how to act with people face to face. They don't get social situations, and that's it's a huge problem. And romantic relationships, forget about it, my Clark. Like it's bad.
All right, I'll comment on that too because I will say this first and foremost. When it comes to the days of the phone, remember back on when you had it on the when you had it in the kitchen, man, you had the cordless phone. You take it with you, boom, and you walk with it. Kids don't understand shit about like that, and also VHSs will be here all day. But romantic relationships, we're in a time and age where, like we talk about, face to face is so important. It's very common, but also at the same time, it's becoming uncommon because everything is text, everything is email, and whatnot. And I mean, it's one of those things too where the loss of actual eye to eye contact and not just from a virtual reality standpoint. It's really killing a lot of romantic relationships. And it's all fucked, man. It's all fucked.
I mean, if you don't have strong social skills
Yep.
to make like regular friendships, like
And what
there's
do you think?
no way. Yeah, how are you going to talk to somebody that you're interested in? How are you going to do that if you can't even walk up to someone like I walked up to you in the lunch in the cafeteria at lunch
Yes.
and said, "Hey, do you want to come sit at our table?" Like, if you can't do something like that, like with that, and albeit it was a very very big thing that I did because it created this amazing friendship that we have, but that was honestly, Mike Logan, that was actually a very simple gesture. Like, if we're being objective about it, that was actually a very simple thing for me to do. It really should not have been a hard thing for me to do. But I bet you that there's a lot of Gen Z kids out there nowadays that wouldn't even be able to do something like that because they wouldn't know how.
And I think also just because how we were raised with the man. And I'm not saying like, oh, these kids are fucking rude and stupid and shit, but it's fucking the fact that manners is very important and key to anything. You didn't have to do that, but you wanted to do that. Are you doing this because you needs to do this or because you wants to do this? So you wanted to do that. And we started this great friendship that we have. Yes, we all clap it up. We started this beautiful friendship.
I'm really happy you said that, Mike Logan.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say it. If you didn't say it, I was gonna say it. If you didn't say it, I was gonna say
North
it.
and South, baby. Rest in peace, Kirstie Alley. North and South. Hell yeah. But Sammy Sosa kiss. So when it came to this beautiful Sammy. So 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 with this beautiful friendship that started, it gave what you just saw a lot of mannerisms and a lot of our inside jokes. But also at the same time, a lot of kids can't just say, hey, you want to come sit at our table? And I'll mind you, when I was in lunch back in the day, I used to sit alone, just eat my lunch, my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which he'll make fun of me all day, every day for. But I would eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, my Capri Sun, and just do my thing. And then he invited me over, and it was wonderful. But also at the same time, a lot of kids won't do that because they don't know the social skills, or it's just like, hey, why would I do this? This person's over here. Let him do his thing. I'm going to do my thing. But also at the same time, you look at it from a world standpoint, a social standpoint. United, not divided, man. It's too much of this when it's not more of this.
Yeah. Or you know what they would do? You know what they would do? They'd be like, I'll just text them.
Right. Exactly. Everybody's just like, I'll text them or I'll send them a message on Facebook. That's it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, but yeah, no, that's just the thing too, man. It's such a different time, and I mean, you and I've talked about this. Like, you just turned 31. I'm 30. You know, you're a year older than me, even though
32.
32.
I'm 32 now.
Okay,
Thank you for making me younger, though. I appreciate that.
Well, no, I
appreciate you making me younger.
You're welcome, but I got to say this because I haven't turned 31 yet. I turned 31 in April. What's Mike Larkin's birthday? April 13th. Rest in peace. But the fact of the matter is, I don't turn 31 until April 13th. But I don't turn April until I caught myself. Oh, okay. So I don't turn 31 until April 13th. But no, that's the thing too. You're 32 now. And well, first of all, do you feel 32? I mean, they're all talking Taylor Swift talking about feeling 22. Do you feel 32?
I feel no different than I did a week ago, through a year ago, a month ago, whatever. Like I don't feel any. Right. I don't feel any. You know what it is? As you start to get into your 30s, the birthdays just don't mean as much anymore. It's weird because like now it's like it's not like when you're a kid, they're not as big of a deal. Now it's almost like, I don't want to seem morbid, but it's almost like every birthday is it's like a countdown to death a little bit.
And first of all, you beat me to the punch on that. All right, you're not sounding morbid, but I will say this: like for me, going into this year, 31, I'm just like, okay, I'm happy I saw another day. I'm happy I'm 31. It's another year. I'm still here, so that's a plus. But no, that mindset does come in because you're in your 30s, and it's just like, okay, it's another day. 31, gonna be 32, gonna be 33. But also at the same time, you're still appreciating the fact that you're here, which at the end of the day is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you really need any more of these parties? Okay, I'll go over here. It's nice, but also at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's another day. It's another year. So, I mean, I feel you. I feel you. And I mean
the milestone ones are the ones that you probably still celebrate. Like 30, like my family really did it up for me, and they had like a whole big surprise party for me and everything. But then like 31, 32, it was like all right, big fucking deal. It's like you're another year older. Like, do you have a job yet? Like, can you? That's really what it's like. It's like all right, whatever. Like, you know, keep trucking now. No one cares. It's like, no, they don't care anymore because it's not a big deal, you know. So it's not that they don't care. They care. They were good to me on my birthday still, but like I didn't get a surprise party and a whole big dinner and everything at 31, 32 that I got at 30, you know. So it just shows you how things can change as you get older.
Oh, absolutely. Like for me, just having like, you know, I mean, I think for my 30th birthday, all we did was we just went to like the Carolina Roadhouse and had a steak. You know what I'm saying? I did the same thing for my mom. We paid her for a steak dinner for her birthday this year. And I mean, first and foremost, number one, we love the Carolina Roadhouse, the best steak in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And number two, dude, with everything that my mom went through last year, and I mean, dude, I even got emotional just sitting there at the restaurant. I'm just like, God dang, man, like a year ago, she was going through chemo and everything and whatnot, and now this year, man, still she has her stuff going on, but I mean, that's one big chunk that's gone, and I think that's wonderful. So that it was a little bit of an emotional birthday, but my mom, man, it's nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
So, but God
I
dang,
mean, your mom's a wonderful lady, Mike Logan. I mean, I always tell people all the time that like she treated me like another son. Really, like she let me into her home. She was gracious. She took care of me so freaking well. She took care of me like I was her own son. Like I can't say enough good things about your mom. She's a great lady, and we, I'm just I'm happy too that you guys are in the place where you're at now because you guys went through fucking hell
right?
before that, and we were all worried, and we were all I can't imagine what you were going through. I was worried up here,
Yes,
not being able to do anything, and just I would ask you all the time how things were going, and I was always trying to get information and things, and I
and
can't imagine what you were going through. So I think just for you guys, you and your family and your dad and everybody else, I think it's so great that you're able to have that dinner and you're able to have that experience because. And you know what I think too? I bet you that experience made you appreciate things a lot more too, didn't it? Right? You appreciate things a lot more with her, right?
very much so. And I mean, and I
Yeah.
guess you never know. Like you never know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're worried. You know what I'm saying? This could be it. But also the fact that I appreciate it more is because, god dang, man, it's the mother son relationship. It's the most beautiful relationship ever. But also at the same time, man, I'm also thinking to myself, like let me talk about life can be very short, but also, and I mean, you were there as I'm thinking about it now. We're going through the thizaughts here. You were there when my mom had her mini stroke. You guys were there visiting her as well. So I got to thank you for that. That was even like you saw her when she had the mini stroke back in the day. So
Yeah, me and my dad. That was the scary thing too. And we took her to the hospital, came to check on her in the hospital. Like we were genuinely worried about her because your mom was a great lady, and your mom, like I said, always treated me the best. So she means a lot to me too, and I really it was hard. It was hard for me, but I know I can't imagine what you were going through. I'm just so happy for you guys that she beat it, and
thank
you
you,
guys are doing much better. And it's amazing. Your mom's an amazingly strong lady
thank
to
you.
go through all that and to beat fucking cancer, come out on the other side, still be kicking ass.
Right.
I mean, that's a strong woman, like Clark, and like that is a kick ass lady right there.
Thank you, homie. And I say that to him best. My mom's my hero, and I love her to death, and she made me who I am today. And I mean, for you, I'll say this about your mom too. Like I love your mom, and your mom did the same thing for me. So I mean, it's a strong bond. It's a strong mother son relationship. It's a strong power of a mother. So shout out to all the moms out there, man. Even just in general, and if whatever you're going through, whether it be cancer, or what have you, wherever you're dealing with, family wise, whatever, just be with there and just always just appreciate every little moment because you never know when it's going to be your last. But also at the same time each and every day. Tell them that you love them. I mean, it may sound cliche, it may sound a little sappy, but it's very true. Make sure you tell them you love them every day.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that I, have been talking about, lately with all the deaths that have been going on lately. You know, tomorrow is not guaranteed, my plug. And I know you know this. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so make the most out of all of your todays, out of every single one, because every day is a blessing. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And again, I know that sounds cliche,
Yep,
but
it's true.
some cliches are cliches because they're true. And tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us, unfortunately. So that's why you have to make the most out of every day. So you have to show the people you love you appreciate them. Show the people you care about that you care about them too. Like you have to do that stuff because you don't know if you're going to get a chance to do that tomorrow because tomorrow might not even come. So you have to make the most of every opportunity you get when you get it because you might not get it again. You know?
Amen to that. And I mean, I got to say this about you too, just to go off the subject here for a second, but god dang, man, also you're making the most out of it too, because I think you were on TV not too long ago, but your team, right? Your hockey team was on TV. Y'all were featured, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. My blind hockey team. I play on two hockey teams. And the blind hockey team got featured on News 12. You remember News 12, right, Mike Larkin?
Yeah, I know.
You know the channel we used to watch when we found out we still had to go to school on snow days. Mike Larkin, remember that? Mike Larkin, remember that conversation?
A, fucking A. As soon as they would get to East Islip, just delay, or it's open. Not even delay. Mostly it was just open. Like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, that station. Yeah, it was really cool, and I love that. I love playing with that team because it's a really really cool thing, and people get to learn things about what blind people can be capable of, and so that was a really cool thing they did, and it was really cool to be part of that, and it's a great team that they got there, and it was really cool, and I have fun, and it's fun. It's always fun to play more hockey. So that was cool.
I was very happy for you too, but then at the same time, you also have to look at it from the other side of things. You're kind of marking out for yourself a little bit. You videotaped yourself in front of the TV. You're marking out a little bit. I mean, that's okay because we all need to have.
I was videotaping the TV so I could have the report recorded and kept for so I could watch it later. Mike Larkin. That's why I did it, Mike Larkin. I didn't. What do you think? I'm like a vain? You think I'm vain, Mike Larkin? I love, like I want to kiss myself, Mike Larkin. Kiss yourself for me, Mike Larkin. Is that how you think, Mike Larkin? Is that what you think I am? Is that the type of person you think I am, Mike Larkin?
You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you.
Oh. Nobody knows who that song is about. Nobody knows who that song is actually about.
No.
Except there was one guy that she told. And she only told this guy because he paid a shitload of money. I don't know if it was to her or if it was to a charity in her name or something, but forked over a shit ton of money just so he could find out who that song was about. Which, I mean, do you really care that much?
Right?
Is it that important to you?
And I love Carly Simon, and I love the remake that she did with Janet on the I think it was on the same All For You album with All For You and Somebody Call My Lover. It was the same album with that song on it. But yeah, no, that was oh my baby, gonna pass my way. I'm gonna get someone to call my love again, baby. Come on. Oh, All For You too, man. That's still one of my favorite songs and videos, one of our jams, All For You, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's 22 years old.
Oh Christ. That was the thing too. I was telling you about this too, like Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake. Don't be so quick to walk away. Dance me. 20 years old now. And you know what it is too? I listen to those songs because I hardly ever listen to the radio anymore. Maybe a little serious once in a while. I don't know how you are. We've talked about modern radio. Like there's some songs that are good, but mostly I'm still in like my 90s vibes in the 2000s. And you introduced me to pop rocks. Like I'm all about that pop rocks. You know what I'm saying? But god dang, man.
Did I introduce you to that, Mike Larkin? I feel like somebody else introduced you.
No, that was you.
I don't think it was me.
That was you.
You sure about that?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Because I thought I introduced you to classic rock, Mike Larkin, good music, Mike Larkin, you know what I'm saying, dog? I thought I introduced you to that.
No, I like classic rock
too. I thought one of our former mutual friends introduced you to that. You know who I'm talking about, Mike Larkin.
Yes.
Ghost Punk and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah. Escape the Fate.
I thought it was that. Yeah, well, whatever. It's okay. It's whatever. Mike Larkin. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Hold on. Well, you mean to tell me you don't want to hear Escape the Fate sing smooth? You don't want to hear that. You don't want to sing A Day to Remember, sing Since You've Been Gone. Since you've been gone, how come I never hear you say I just want to be with you?
I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's only it gets corny after a while. Corny.
Corny. I know, but you went from Punko's Pop to that series. Well, what about the now? Because some people will even refute that and say that now that's what I call music gets corny after how many volumes that they've had. I'm like, not really. What do you think about how now has gone from where we had it in '98, the first one, to where we are now?
Well, it was usually always like the current music, right? Yes. And then they started making all these compilation albums because then the kids don't buy albums anymore, so they have to kind of cater to the older people now.
Yep.
So they're making all these compilations of like 80s, 90s, and classic rock and party mixes and new wave and all that other stuff. And but like those were fun though. I like them. They're fun. They're it's good. Pop music back in the day was fun. There's also a lot of bad shit and weird shit, but it was fun. Same with TV. There was a lot of weird shit, but it was fun.
Absolutely.
Like
Well, I mean,
like
for me,
Mike Larkin. Mike Larkin. I don't know if you know about this, but Jackie was actually telling me this today.
go ahead.
S Club 7 is getting back together and having a reunion, Mike Larkin.
Hoochie Mama, show your nanas. S Club ain't no party like an S Club party. Hey.
Yep. 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 Never had a dream come true.
Till the day that I found you. And they're in the fucking snow with the freaking coats. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god.
And that's the thing. It's like they had a television show, Mike Larkin.
S Club 7 in Miami. Yes, I used to watch it every Saturday on ABC Family. Yep.
That's right. It was on ABC Family. I was telling Jackie about that today. I was telling Jackie it was so because that's the weird. Like it was so weird that a pop band had a TV show in the 90s 2000s.
Right.
There was weird shit on TV, but it was fun. We loved it. So
Well, S Club 7 only had like the two albums. They had the first one, which had S Club Party, which was the big one. They had 2 in a Million, which was another good one. They had Bring It All Back. And I think maybe that was about it. I think it might have been one other one, but I don't remember. Then the second album, which was the last one that we saw here in the States, that was Never Had a Dream Come True, which was their only hit. That was actually on TRL, and they performed it on TRL. But yeah, no, that was it for them. I mean, then they did some stuff.
Daily, dog.
Carson Daly, yes. But they also did like a couple things in the UK, but they had one reunion thing where they all performed at concert, but they're getting back to do like a tour now, like an actual tour.
That's what she said. That's what she said. She wants to go see him.
I would love to go see. First of all, Rachel Stevens. Oh, Rachel Stevens, man, hotness, pure hotness.
Well, I was telling Jackie, I was more of an 18s guy, Mike Larkin, because the chicks were hot. So
well, yeah.
But I was always thinking
Well, you also have to be careful.
18.
Yes, I love the 18s, but you also have to be careful because they look like they were 15, but they were not. They were like 18 at the time. So we were like,
please be 18.
Please be 18. Drive these. You know what's bad about that? You know what's bad about that? What? Somebody now, because that was from 2006 and still one of our jams. If somebody heard us do that joke now, somebody get offended. Oh, you're promoting what could be like rape. No, it's a fucking joke, lady. Okay, it's a fucking joke. Stop it,
Mike Larkin. Don't acknowledge the haters, Mike Larkin. Okay, that's what they are. They're haters.
Haters
at the end of the day.
Haters gonna hate.
Ballers gonna ball, Mike Larkin.
Yep. And we're balling. Straight up balling.
That's right.
Right. But also at the same gang. So what the best part about that is too, like 18s, like ABBA cover. I still have the ABBA Generation, their debut album, Mamma Mia, Dancing Queen, friggin' Breakfast Club themed music video. Hello.
Yep. Upside down, bouncing up the ceiling, Mike Larkin, right?
2002, yes. Got no clue what I should do. I'd go crazy if I can't get next to you. They had one other one that was good called Floor Filler. For those who've never heard Floor Filler, it's actually a good song. I have to send it to you. Floor Filler. It was a good song, man.
Yeah, they were fun. It was right. It was ABBA teens, right, Mike Larkin?
They were the ABBA teens. Yes, they were.
It was like ABBA, but and I'll tell you something too, Mike Larkin. The chicks from ABBA were hot too. Like,
yes, they were.
I'm not an ABBA fan by any stretch, but like the chicks from ABBA, what were they doing with those guys?
Can't you hear SOS, man? Put on some SOS by ABBA. Yes. Oh my goodness. SOS.
And then like we were talking about like because I remember I told you about when I had to go see Spice World in the movie theater. I'm Clarkin.
Yeah, I know. You wanted to go see
when I was like 6.
Yeah, we saw it with your sisters. You all saw the movie together. It was cool. I know. I remember.
It wasn't cool, Mike Clarkin. I hated that movie.
Are you sure about that? You went to go see the movie? I would not go see a movie I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? You just went to see Spice World with your sisters. That's fine. It's okay.
Like any movie where Alan Cummings is one of the stars is probably not going to do well.
Oh,
Mike Larkin, just saying, Mike Larkin.
it's terrible. I can't even joke with you about this, but that movie is terrible from start to finish. That movie's so bad.
Do you think Elton John regrets his cameo in that? Do you think he regrets doing that?
I'm sure he does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Yeah, but yeah, but the Spice Girls, man, I mean, still, like, they've always talked about getting a reunion tour, but never happens. Never happens. Goddamn posh.
Whatever. You know what it is, though? Because she's married to freaking David Beckham. They got billions of dollars. So she don't need to go on tour, Mike Larkin.
No, not at all.
That's the thing. It's like, she doesn't need to go on tour. Like, she can stay retired for the rest of her life. Like, that's the thing. It's like, they usually only do those reunion tours because they need the money. Like they don't really need the money. Like Larkin, like they're doing great,
right?
You know, so like they're not gonna do it.
Well, it's also funny you mentioned like all these groups that were very obscure and the weird stuff. Like I remember when we had very briefly M2M was a thing, which was two Norwegian girls, and they had like one song called "Mirror Mirror" on the wall. You don't have to tell me who's the biggest fool of all. They're two Norwegian girls called M2M. And they had another song called "Don't Say You Love Me," which was off the Pokemon soundtrack. Like very briefly, M2M.
You're gonna name drop the Pokemon soundtrack, Mike Larkin. That's what you're gonna do right now. You're gonna name drop.
Name drop.
I mean, that's a really interesting. The Pokemon movie, Mike Larkin. Really, the Pokemon movie. Really, Mike Larkin.
You want to go home and play SOCOM? Yes. So when it came to Pokemon, when it came to Pokemon, I was 9 years. I was 9 when that was. So I was into Pokemon at that time. Not SOCOM, but Pokemon. So Pokemon was my thing. I had the thing on my wall. You know what I'm saying? But it was Pokemon. It was a thing. I never played Pokemon Go. I thought if you were a grown man trying to catch Pokemons on your phone with the Pokemon Go, like I thought that was ridiculous, catching a Poke. But fuck that.
People were getting killed playing that game. Like, they had to like ban that game in so many places. People were like walking in the middle of streets and like just like dying, just because they're getting hit by cars or like crossing train tracks or just
trying to find
it was bonkers, Mike Larkin. Like it was bonkers. Like when was that? 2019 now or something, right? That was when that came out.
You said it was bonkers. I thought it was weird. You see that guy's balls? Yeah, they were weird looking. So I mean, hey, I get you. Bonkers, weird, what have you.
Do you remember that summer you went to community college? I did a spread for Playgirl magazine.
We had heard of it because I went under the name of Mike Honcho. So if you could get this into your subconscious, I just want you to know that I spread my butt cheeks as Mike Honcho.
And then remember in the end, he calls him Mike Honcho. Do you remember that? In the end, he calls him Mike Honcho.
Yes, he's like, come on, Mike Honcho. He's like, come on, Mike Honcho.
We've gone with the goddamn Mike Honcho with the freaking
Mike Honcho. Mike Honcho. I got two tickets, $60 a pop.
Sir, these have been waiting for you for a long time.
Not to be confused with $60 a pop with self-taught pop.
Oh my god, that is a great cameo, Michael.
Speaking of cameos, you want a great cameo freaking Steve Buscemi on The Wedding Singer.
I mean, there are many great cameos in that movie, Mike Larkin. Like we talked about it, how many great cameos there. That is definitely like one of our, if not our top jam, at least one of our top, like probably top like 2 or 3 at least. Right? Right, between me and you, right? Yep. For us,
it was. Yep, it was on the other night. I was watching it, and it came up to the part where you actually sent me because it's Valentine's Day. You better hurry up over here because the fat guy's going to get upset because he wants to eat the whole entire cake. Mm-hmm. He just makes a little.
He goes, hey, yeah,
okay. And then he's the one who freaking grabs the mic like he's about to eat it. Love stinks.
He gets like up on it, Mike Larkin.
He loves stinks.
What about? Hey, buddy, I'm paying you to sing, not to hear your thoughts on life.
Well, I have a microphone and you don't, so you will listen to every goddamn word I have to say.
This is ridiculous. Sir, one more episode of Spanking
You were my microphone.
I mean, every line, like we say this every time, but
Every
line is fucking quotable in that movie. Every single line. That's how you know it's a great movie, because there's not one line that you could quote and it wouldn't be freaking amazing and funny. Like the whole movie is just a great fucking movie.
Well, Jules, your elbows are smaller than mine, so you'll be all right sitting in the aisle seat. And then the freaking thing comes and she just bounces it right into her elbow. The freaking drink cart right into her elbow. And she's just like,
she does the face, but like she does the face, right? Like
that's not. It's great.
And what about oh shit, I got water on myself.
Whoa, I don't even know what I just said. Oh, he likes to rub my nipples a little bit. What?
Nope.
That's disgusting. Just the whole entire movie. Hey, Linda, you're a bitch. Every line in The Wedding Singer, just every line is hilarious.
Yep. You know what else we were talking about today, Mike Larkin? You know what? Josie and the Pussycats, Mike Larkin. Remember that movie, Mike Larkin?
From 2001, yeah.
Yeah, with Rachel Lee Cook and Tara Reid.
Yes.
Right, and Rosario Dawson, and then Parker Posey was in it, and your boy Carson Daly made a cameo, Mike Larkin.
Carson Daly, who's on that bar show now, Barmageddon on USA, he's doing that thing now, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? They have everybody at the bar. It's him and Blake Shelton, and a lot of people are on it. Nikki Bella was just on it. So yeah, I mean, it's something. You know what I'm saying? It's something. But yeah, no, Carson Daly, who has gone a long way from TRL and what he's done, you know what I'm saying? But TRL will always still be my jam from 3:30 in the afternoon to come on 3:00 on MTV after school or a day. And then they friggin' switched up hosts. And I mean, nobody will ever beat Carson Daly though.
He's a big Islanders fan, right, Mike Larkin? He's been to quite a few Islander games.
I know.
Recently. Yeah. Which is really cool. He was there for 90s night. That was really cool. So, it's cool that we have celebrity fans who are like real. There's a couple of them. Celebrity fans who are real fans.
What about E? Your boy E?
Yes. Kevin Connolly. You got Ralph Macchio. You got Chloe Grace Moretz.
Right.
The guy from Law and Order SVU.
Yes.
They're real fans. Like, they don't just show up to games to be seen that team in Manhattan. Like, they're real celebrity fans are actually real Islander fans, which is really, really cool. All
I'll say about Kevin Connolly is just let the man have his food and just let him be. You know what I'm saying?
Did we tell this story already? Did we refresh the audience?
Yes. So we talked about this story years ago, but it was after an Islanders game, and Kevin Connolly goes to Maxwell's in Islip, and he just wanted to go there, have some food. Yeah, maybe a drink. I don't know, but he just wanted to get some grub. He wanted to get his grub on and just have a nice
private,
relax. He just wanted to relax. And everybody went up to him. Yo, E, what's up, E? How you doing, E? Yo, E. And he got a lot of
the messed up thing was that Maxwell's promoted it on their social media.
I forgot that part. Yeah, okay, you're right.
He was not there for Maxwell's.
He was there.
They posted I don't even think they had his permission to post those pictures,
which is fucked
up. Really fucked up. They were without using him to promote their restaurant without his consent.
Right.
And then it brought him all of this unwanted attention. It ruined his meal. He had to leave. Like, that was a terrible. And notice how he hasn't been back there since.
Right.
And that's a terrible thing that they did. And they just did him so wrong, Mike Larkin. Like, that was such a dirty thing to do, Mike Larkin. Like, they did him dirty, man.
Okay.
So not right. And you can see in the pictures, like, how miserable he looks.
Which brings me to a lot of stuff that's been happening, and I'll tell that story in a second here. But, the problem is it's like his whole demeanor in those pictures was like, I'll take a picture, but I may not smile, or I may not be happy to take that photo, because he took him and his facial expression was just like, I just want to eat in peace. I just want to be.
Just let the guy eat. And it's bad enough that a couple of people are coming up to him in the restaurant, and the restaurant posts pictures, and then they got freaking flooded with people, which is just with. And again, like he didn't like. I don't think he told them he could put those pictures up. Like
No, it was just like, oh, here's E at Maxwell's.
it's just so wrong, Michael. It's just so we felt so bad.
I felt so bad for him.
Just,
And I'll say this: wrestling fans are a lot of do-to-dos, but I will say this: like, if I'm at a wrestling event or if I see someone out after, because I'll be okay. I'll give an example: Nassau Coliseum, right across the Nassau Coliseum is the hotel. I'm not going to be one of those idiots that's going to wait in the lobby after the event and go and wait for them to get an autograph and talk with the wrestlers in the lobby. Just let them check in, let them go to the room, leave them alone. Prime example recently happened here at Rey Mysterio. Fans gathered at the airport, and I hate the airport fans. They're at the airport with his there's lines of his action figure. There's a couple Funko Pops, and Rey Mysterio politely looked at them and said, "Look, they don't let us do this shit anymore because." If I sign this, it's for you to make money because they know that they're going to sell that on eBay to try to make some money because they can't get a real job. So he said, we're not going to do that anymore. And they were just like sitting there. And then one of the guy goes, well, I'm actually a fan. And he goes, all right, fine. If you're a fan, I'll sign one for you. I'm not going to sign them all because I know what you're going to do with that. Same thing happened with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was just walking to the airport. You see these fans just right alongside her with the autographs. And she was nice about it, but you could tell she was tired and she was frustrated because she's walking and then she just turns around. She's like, if I wasn't a nice person, I would say something right now. You could tell she wanted to say something, but she just smiled and, okay, thank you. And then she went about her day. Leave these people alone. If you're in an airport and it's 4:00 in the morning and you see a wrestler, don't go up and say, hey, may I have an autograph or can I get my kid an autograph? Because it's just.
Wait. It was 4 a.m.
No, I'm saying another example. This was not 4 a.m. This is when they were just trying to get to their flight. This was not 4 a.m, but fans do that at 4 a.m, where they'll see like a wrestler in their gate and they'll go up to them, or they can track when these fans are when they're going to be there, and they go to the airport. Some of them are done at 4:00 in the morning, like they're just trying to get off the flight. Like leave them alone.
Some people just take things way, way, way too far. And you know, to be fair, Mike Larkin, and I'm going to actually be fair to wrestling fans here. I know, really incredible thing going on right now. It's not just wrestling fans where fans are like that. It's all sports,
fans.
And it's all facets of entertainment that there are just asshole fans, you know, and it's unfortunate that has to be that way, but people have no chill and they don't know where to fucking back off.
There's no boundary. You know? They don't know the line. Yeah. But yeah, they do that. They just do it to make money off eBay, or they'll get their kid to go ask for an autograph when it's just them because they want to get it signed and put it on the internet, or they want to just talk to the wrestler. So they use their kid to like go up to them and say, hey, why don't you ask so-and-so for their autograph? It's ridiculous. They do it. It's tactics. I mean, not all wrestling fans are like that. And I'll say this. I know people say what they will about wrestling fans, but not all wrestling fans are like that. And I think for me, as I've gotten older and I've worked with people in the industry, I'm like, I'm over the mark shit. I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, there's still people. And also, same goes with any celebrity. But the thing, too, is with the
Green Lantern.
First of all, he is not my boy. That dude is a scumbag. An actual fucking scumbag. Times the matches. No hate. Times the matches. Goes to freaking Chris Candido's funeral to get their autographs. Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna.
That's messed. That is beyond messed up.
First of all, I will say this right now. Do not compare me to the Green Lantern fan. That guy is worse. What's your name?
I didn't compare you. I just said he was your boy. I didn't compare you.
Not my boy. That guy is not my boy. What's your name? Paul Sosnowski. And that woman never, ever married him, which is the funniest part about that. He proposed live on Monday Night Raw, and he got nothing. He got no nookie. He got nothing. So yeah.
Do you think that she ever like slept with him? Do you think he's ever been laid, Mike Larkin?
Paul Sosnowski? I'm not.
Yeah.
He's gotten arrested a lot, but you know, I don't know about late.
I would think that you have a better shot with girls than he does, Mike Larkin. Honestly,
you gotta stop with that. Like, I ain't got no chance with anybody. It is what
I didn't say that. I'm saying he's lame. That's what I'm saying.
He's very lame.
He's lame. That's what I'm saying.
Very lame. He's horrible. He's terrible. But at the same time, no, there's worse fans than people like that. Like Paul Sosnowski is a bad fan. There's a lot of idiot fans like that. Like Rick Ochberger, people will say he's the sign guy, the guy that always wears like the red backwards hat and the blue shirt. Like that guy's cool. He's just a fan, devoted fan. He doesn't take it to that extreme. But friggin'
red backwards hat. Does he think he's Fred Durst, Mike Larkin?
So Rick Ochberger with the red backwards blue shirt, not Fred Durst, did it all. Well, the best part was Fred Durst. Okay, now you're going to bring this to me. One of the wrestling events, I think it was the SummerSlam he was at, not Summerfest, at a SummerSlam he was at. He was on camera and he just gave the finger, which I thought was hilarious. He did a finger. It was so funny. But yeah, no, yeah, that's Fred Durst for you, who was actually in a wrestling video game. He was in SmackDown Just Bring It. You can unlock
That's
him.
right.
Yes. He was in a video game. But you know, oh yeah, but yeah, the point of the matter is here, folks, leave them alone. Leave people alone. Let them eat. Let them, if they're at the airport, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone.
And see, this is the thing that people don't, they forget this, is that celebrities are people too.
Yes, they are.
Okay. And they have their public lives, but they also have their private lives.
Yep.
And it is very wrong for someone to think that just because they are in the vicinity of a celebrity, that they have the right to infringe and encroach upon their private life, the celebrity's private life. Like, I know the tons of stories about when wrestlers or guys are out with their kids and their families, and people come to them for autographs, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, they're out to dinner, and people come up to their table at dinner, like it's way over the line.
Well, there's people that are also not nice about it. I'll give you an example. Matt Hardy was nice about it. I met Matt Hardy when I was like 11 at an FYE. So Matt Hardy was out with his wife and they were having dinner, and the guy approached him for an autograph, and what he said was, let me eat my dinner and then I'll talk to you and I'll sign for you. And you know what the guy did? He waited. He was respectful. He said, okay. And then he signed it and they were fine. But if they say to you, wait until I'm done eating, don't go, oh, come on, man. No, just let him eat, let him have his meal, and then he'll talk to you. He'll sign your autographs. Just be nice and respectful about it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're also at the airport, there are some wrestlers that are nice about it. Like if John Cena's at an airport, he'll do that. Sasha Banks got like harassed by Bully Ray back in the day, who was one of the wrestlers on he was a legendary wrestler, Busted Open. He went hard on her because she didn't want to talk to them at the airport either and ignored them. And it's like, well, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be. No, okay, I understand wrestling fans help make these people, as being fans and supporting them. But look, if she's at the airport and again, they're tired, they have to go from city to city. All right. They have to go from such and such destination. They don't want to be bothered. I just wrestled. I just showered. I want to make the next flight to the next town, or I want to drive to the next town. I don't want to be bothered right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I understand his mindset of the fans, help make them who they are and whatnot. But also at the same time, like you mentioned, they're people, leave them alone. I think the worst case about it too is like, then people will put it on social media, and the worst case and scenario here is the conception is, and the perception is like, oh, these guys are assholes. No, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? They're not assholes. You're just bugging me. You know what I'm saying? If you're nice about it, we'll talk. But that's the thing. You just gotta also have the whole thing. It's like with the Islanders. Like, they wait for them by their cars and all that stuff. I mean, they could be nice about it, but they could also be dicks. Like, they just want to go back to the hotel, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know tons of people who go and after the games and will wait at the tunnel where all the guys come out in their cars, and some guys will drive right by, and some guys will sign. It depends on, first of all, if they want to,
yep,
and if they feel like it, and what kind of mood they're in, and but you just gotta accept the fact that if they don't want to sign something for you, then they're not gonna sign something for you, and they don't. You know what? That's the thing. They don't have to do any of this.
They don't have to wave at you. They don't have to sign for you. They don't have to take a photo with you. They do it because, they do it. It's what they are. Maybe they want to do it, but it's
they don't owe you anything. Honest, like you personally, like they own the fans, their in general, their livelihood and who they are and their status and all that stuff. But you as a person are not owed an autograph. You as a person are not owed 5 seconds of that wrestler or that athlete's time. They don't owe you anything. So don't, that's the thing, is that people think that they're entitled to it and they're not.
All right. I'll use this as an example. So some people do this. I don't know if it's just wrestling, maybe others. I don't go up to people. And mind you, with LFC, now mind you, I'm the official podcast host, but I don't go there as a podcaster. I go there to do my ring announcing job or whatever I'm doing at that event because I'm seeing my friends, and that's it. There's no podcasting. The podcaster is off. This is just Mike hanging with his friends and doing his job. Here's the issue here. If you go up to a wrestler, if you go up to whatever, and you say, and I quote, you know what, I have this podcast. Can you say a couple words for podcast? Do a little intro for me? Look, okay. I have done that with people who I've had on my show because I don't know, they're actually on the show. Interviewed them, and it gives a nice little plug because they're on the show. I'm not going to go at an autograph signing at the table and say, "Oh, can you say some words for my podcast?" Like, I'm not a podcaster anymore. I mean, people may view this differently, but I'm not a podcaster anymore. I'm just a guy who wants to go to a show and enjoy himself.
Yeah,
you understand where I'm coming from?
I mean, that's just again, like that's totally over the line. Like,
Yeah.
Like what? First of all, they have to just because you shove a mic in their face doesn't mean they have to do it either. And,
Or they
and
put
also,
or they put the phone in your face.
yeah, or whatever it is. And like, who are you? who the hell are you? Why the hell should I promote this rando's podcast who I don't know?
Yep.
And have never met, and I have never heard this podcast.
Yep.
Like you could be, talking about like how much you love Satan and Hitler, like on this podcast, and like, wait, you just want me to say, oh yeah, I love this podcast,
or listen to such and such hosted by such and such. That would that would be like you going up to like Butch Goring and saying, "Hey, I host the Stevie Nicks Hockey Experience. Can you say a word for my show and do an intro?" You don't do that to Butch Goring or whoever.
It's totally wrong and out of line, and like I don't know how anyone could think that would be a good thing to do. Like that's a good idea. Like there's something wrong with someone who says this is going to be a good idea if I go do, like there is something missing up here. If your line of thinking is this is a good idea to put my phone in this guy's face and tell him to promote my podcast,
right,
and my content when he's never heard of it, he doesn't know who I am, and I'm just a guy, and I'm gonna make this big ask that I have no real justification to ask him.
Like I said,
do it anyway.
I said, and in my stance, if you're on my show and we're doing a show together, sure. If I'm interviewing, sure, you're on the line with me. It brings more listens and it brings more views and stuff to people who want to listen and engage with it. But when you're just at a random autograph signing, like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or like, don't do that.
It's just that people there's a very big disconnect with certain people where it's just like they don't get that like certain things you just don't do because there's certain protocols and certain etiquettes you have to follow, and some people it's scary, Mike Larkin. Like it's scary how like the circuits don't connect in some people, it's just like really, really like disturbing how like people can just go off the deep end and not even like think that they're doing anything wrong. It's just like, oh my God, like it's very scary.
It is. But I will say this. I think what's not off the deep end and what's not scary is the fact that you listen to this show and you enjoy what Steve and I do each and every time you listen to this episode. And I will say this. If you have not listened to this show, what are you doing? Go to MC Larkin 92 and subscribe to my YouTube, Mike Larkin, and check out the Spotify, the iHeart, the Stitcher, and everything that you get your podcast audio needs on Anchor, SoundCloud, the whole nine, and StephenMikeShow.com, because that is actually what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. It's constant, consistent basis here, and support this show and subscribe and like and do what you do. That is not scary. We ain't here to scare you. We're here to entertain you because we're entertainers. We're applying our crafts, my homie G.
Well, we hope we're entertaining.
We hope we're entertaining you.
It's debatable whether we actually are, but if we hope we are, we're trying. Is the point? We're trying.
Yeah,
it's the S&M Show Podcast Network, right? And we really should rebrand that address, Mike Larkin, because like.
We have StephenMikeShow.com, so that's not the S&M show. And I made it on SoundCloud to Stephen Mike. Yeah. So yeah.
Definitely check out the website too. The website is great too. Yes. It's cool that we even have a website. Thank you, Mike's dad. That's really awesome.
Yes, no, I've rebranded it to Stephen Mike Show Podcast Network. So there's no more S&M. I know we were kids when we started. We were 2015, so we thought S&M playing our words. So you mean, but now it's Stephen Mike.
I appreciate you saying we and you also taking partial credit for my horrible idea.
Yeah, it's okay. I thought it was funny too. No, it's fine. Well, we were at the time when we started this. I was 23 and you were 24. So, I mean, we're different now. We're 31, going to be 31 and 32. So we think differently than we did when we were 23 and 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I hope
it's
you
all been fun though. We're all we weren't great when we started, but
no.
even so, it's always been fun, and we have fun together, and that's why we started this podcast, is because we wanna share that fun with our listeners and other people, and hopefully we can show them a good time the way that we have a good time, and hopefully get something out of it, and hopefully you weren't too distracted by the posters over my shoulder. And and
You're good. You got some nice little swimsuit over there. You got a nice little hockey stuff, man. You're up in there, up in there, up in there. It's good. So, so before we do close this out, and I gotta say, folks, we do have a great episode that is going to be coming up, and I hope you enjoyed our hilarity and our talks throughout this show here tonight. But we got a great episode. We got to tell the people your sister's going to come on, and we're going to do. What are we going to do? We're going to do '90s trivia, or just trivia in general, with you and Jackie.
Well, let's. I wanted to make it a surprise. We're not gonna, because I don't want to give it away to Jackie in case she listens.
All right.
What we're gonna do?
Well, there's going to be some trivia.
I don't want her to be able to study for anything. That's the thing. That it's supposed to be off the top of your head.
Oh, I got you.
So let's not give anything away so she can study on things, right, Mike Larkin? Because I want to trying to wipe the floor with her when we do this, Mike Larkin. You know what I'm saying? So
let's be honest with ourselves here.
Your mama sure cares about your education, boy.
Let's be honest with ourselves here. You're the one who started this whole thing when your sister was wearing that Ramones t-shirt and she's never heard a song or whatever. She was wearing the Ramones and you had to mess with her about that. That's where this
because I am the classic rock musician who actually listens to the
Ramones.
And I got personally offended by that because I know she's never heard a Ramones song in her life. How dare you wear that shirt just because you think it looks cool? You can't talk the talk if you're not going to walk the walk. That's what pissed me off about that, Mike Larkin.
So this is going to be fun when we do the trivia in an upcoming episode here, so be on the lookout. And before we do close this out, like we said, we're doing this on more of a consistent basis here.
Tommy Gunn only fights in the ring.
My ring's outside. Oh yeah.
We're live.
So we're doing this on a more consistent basis, you son of a bitch. And we're gonna keep putting.
I love you too, Cookster.
I love you too, Cookster. We're gonna do this like we've been agreeing once a month, so everybody can have this. But we've already had 2 shows this month so far with you and Dylan, so we've had the content going, and this will be number 3. And before we close this out again, folks, thank you for listening and supporting us. And homie, promote where we can follow you first, and then I'll do everybody else's. Go ahead.
On Instagram at Stevie Nicks, on Twitter at Steve Nicks SM, on the I don't want you on my Facebook. Stay off my Facebook.
Don't go. Just go away, be gone.
Yeah. Also, Golden Age Pod might come back, so follow them on Twitter. Also on Twitter, SN what is it? SNHE Pod on Twitter.
Pod, yes, for the Stevie Nicks.
And am I missing anything else, Mike Larkin? And also the main Facebook pages and all that.
Hold on, brother. Islanders Pride on Twitter and the YouTube.
Oh yeah, on Twitter at Real Isles Pride, and on YouTube if you enjoy classic Islanders content and classic hockey content, which is a little niche, but if you're into that, go ahead, give me a subscribe. You won't be disappointed. Anything else? What else am I missing?
I think. Well, I meant to actually ask you about this because we haven't discussed it. This is a social media question I had to ask you. What the hell happened to your Isles Historical Twitter? That was like a thing. You had your Isles Historical, and what the hell happened?
Well, it's the same thing. No, it's the same account. But
it's the same account.
I changed the name to more closely branded with the YouTube channel.
Understood. Okay.
And also because there was a Twitter handle that was Islanders Pride.
Yes.
As like a gay pride thing, which not that I have a problem with any of that, Mike Larkin, but people were misidentifying it as being associated with my YouTube account. So I wanted to kind of make sure that they were more easily identifiable as being joined together. So that's why I did it.
All right. Fair enough. And those links will be in the description. And if you want to follow myself, you guys can check me out at SM Show 1 or at MCL92 on Twitter, my personal one, and my show one. Instagram is MLarkinMB for my personal one and Larkin_92 for the show. You guys can check out my YouTube, Mike Larkin92. Keep on subscribing and keep on subscribing to my homie G over here with Islanders Pride. You also guys can check me out with StephenMikeShow.com, as we mentioned, SoundCloud.com/MCLarkin92, and you can listen to this show on Stitcher.
Oh, and the Clips channel, Mike Larkin.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, Stephen Mike Show Clips. The link to that
That's
YouTube
right.
description. Thank you. So Twitter, I mentioned there. Audio Goodness, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, 4 of the main ones that we're on right now. And of course, StephenMikeShow.com and the YouTube Mike Larkin92. And if you guys want to check out some of the other stuff that's on this channel, I have my Uncaged series with my boy Daniel Crimmins, Stephen Mike Show, the Stevie Nicks Experience with you and Dylan. A lot of On the Mic with Mikes, a lot of the LFC pod, which again, LFCfights.com, and as well Capital Championship Wrestling for my other work. So we're here and there. We got a lot of variety on this channel, and I love it.
Sir. That's what makes it great. And I also wanted to make a really big announcement, Mike Logan, if you'll allow me to. I'm actually going to be rebranding my main Twitter handle as @RealSMShow1. So that will be my new Twitter handle now, Mike.
I hate him. I hate him. So
I hate him.
No, Grandma, I didn't get the job. I hate him. Okay, I really hate you, but I really hate you. So follow all the links, and the links will be in the. He's proud of himself. Links will be in the description. And do you have any final words, Cackler, before we close this out?
Oh, I love you, Mike Logan. That's all I gotta say.
I
love you. You're my boy. I love doing this. And everybody take care of yourselves and be good to one another. And just, love is the answer and all that crap. And don't forget, @RealSM Show.
I love you guys. I hate him. And he can fuck to the left, fuck to the right, spin around, go fuck yourself tonight. I hate you. Fuck you. Bye.